We had a predator visit us overnight. Unfortunately, all the chickens didn't go in the chicken house, and one of them got taken by, from what I can tell, was must have been an owl, because I walked all the way around the fence. There was no tracks coming into this fence, so it had to be a bird of prey. Last night was a lot of moonlight, and so I think an owl got in here. There's always one or two chickens that comes out and likes to try to stay up on this tree. Unfortunately, last night was not the night because they're getting hungry, I'm sure, with all of the snow on the ground. So, I hate it. One of Cassie's pretty black chickens is one of them real big black pretty ones. Got taken last night. So, and the body's still here. That's another sign that it was a bird and not coyote or something bigger, because the coyote would eat the whole thing or take it back with it. So I'm just out here busting ice this morning. That one's frozen to the ground. Have to get it up, pour water in. The more snow you get, the colder it gets, the harder it is for animals, predators to find prey. And these chickens are a pretty easy target as far as prey is concerned, because they're just sitting here. Now, the electric fence helps a ton, especially with ground predators. But predators of the air, what are you going to do? We also have all of this brush in here for the chickens to get under. That's about all we can do. So sometimes you lose some. It's farm life, people. I hate it, but it happens.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Catching Up with the Walkers. Thank you so much for joining us. And
as I drink my canned water.
And I have grabbed a cup of coffee in Cherokee. Throw that in every now and then.
Agua in Spanish.
Really? Coffee is just dirty water, right? Is that what the saying is?
Agua.
Oh, yours is agua. Mine is actually, it says it right there, coffee. So, starting off today, unfortunately, with a little bit of bad news, and that's farm life, people.
Sadly.
Cassie says. But do you agree with my observations that I made out on the spot in the chicken pen?
Yep.
What do you think it was?
I would assume an owl as well.
An owl? It could have been a hawk if it was super early in the morning, but I think it was an owl because of nighttime and how early it was in the morning. So,
yeah.
But that's kind of the circle of life. I mean, nature.
It's nature. Snow's on the ground. It can't find anything to eat. We have a chicken roosting on the down tree out there instead of getting in its coop. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, there's always going to be, even in the daytime, I've sat there and watched an eagle circle around the chicken coop, and I just basically sat back and watch and video until it comes in close, and I can go try to scare it off, but I can't take arms against it. So that's
But even with
illegal.
Snow on the ground, the chickens, a couple chose to roost on the down tree. So you can give them all of the barns and all the coops and all of the heaters and all of the straw and all the things that you want, but they still chose to roost out there, which shows me the animals are tougher than you think when it comes to the winter weather.
Absolutely.
Not when it comes to an owl, though.
No, they have no match for a predator like that. I was happy, though, that it wasn't a coyote, because a lot of times coyotes, when that fence is snowed on, could get grounded out. Excuse me. But I walked all the way around it and didn't see anything.
Yeah, so I mean, I hate that it happened, but I understand nature. They had a place to go, take shelter, be warm, be out of the elements, be safe, but they chose not to use it. And that's just how animals are. So hopefully they saw what was happening and the rest of them choose to use. If they don't go in, they don't go in.
Well, we do have good news. That night, when you saw the video, I went out there, and guess how many chickens were out of the coop?
They all chose to go in.
0.
So hopefully that has taught them, because we have automatic chicken doors for a reason. So we don't have to go out there early morning and late nights. They're supposed to go in the coop, the door goes down. Next morning, the door comes up, and they come outside. So we don't really babysit and spoil and monitor our animals. We expect them to do what they're supposed to do, and if If the sheep don't want to use the barn when it's raining or snowing, the sheep don't have to use the barn. So if they want to, the chickens want to roost on a tree and risk it, daggum them, I guess they can.
It's farm life, people.
Well, it just means I better start hatching.
Always looking for an excuse to hatch, aren't you?
I mean, I haven't in a while, so.
No, it's probably, what is it? How long until the expo? It's still a little ways out.
Yeah.
But really, we try to avoid the extremes as far as hatching goes, the extreme heats and the temperatures. The extreme cold isn't as bad because we have heat plates, and they can get under that and stay warm. But if you can't avoid the extremes, it's better because like water, the water in the coops at night freezing wouldn't be good for baby chicks because they constantly need water. But anyway, it will be time to hatch soon. Cassie will be back at it. Anything on the list? Anything you're looking forward to hatch, or just gonna do our standard
I'll probably hatch
eggs?
some of my Orpingtons out there and see kind of how they turn out since I have different colors in there, and then just do some of my barnyards, which I prefer, barnyard mixes. But probably just do that unless I can get some eggs from some people that have other breeds, but I'm not real picky. I just like chickens and I like eggs.
Well, we just need enough chickens to get enough eggs, and right now we have enough, but we lost a couple, so there's always room for a couple more.
And others are getting old.
And we took a run at hatching out more chickens, or not hatching out, but we bought some more chickens. Cassie picked them all out, and guess what?
I was very consistent.
We have all roosters.
I picked out all roosters. I knew I was picking out all something.
I should have picked them out. Apparently.
Well, you should have. But apparently what was in the brooder at Atwoods?
Yeah, it was Atwoods in
Bartlesville?
Bartlesville.
Is that where we ended up?
No. Owasso. We drove to Owasso.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were on our way home from Bartlesville. We Tractor Supply in Bartlesville didn't have any, so we went to Owasso.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I tried to pick in, there was some smaller ones and some bigger ones. So I tried to get all the small ones because I thought, oh, if those, I assume they were all the same day. I shouldn't assume anything. I mean, that same age. So I got all the smaller ones that was just, it was a straight run. So you never know what you're going to get. I got all the ones that looked alike, size-wise, all the things, because the other ones were a little bigger. And I got all roosters. And they weren't Easter eggers. They were, one was an Easter egger. The rest were white leghorns. So I got a bunch of white leghorn roosters to get rid of.
Auction. Gotta get rid of them somehow.
Yep.
Sooner than later. So at least that was the only casualty on the farm from the crazy snowstorm that moved in. We had, and I know all the northern people out there are going to be saying that's no snow at all. But actually, it's been the flip this time. So in the comments that we've been getting on our videos, people in like Michigan, Iowa, Indiana, people up
They're actually impressed with our snow.
They're at Maine. People are like, you have more snow than we have on the ground right now.
Someone though did DM or comment or something that said, that's just a dusting, which maybe they were watching the video when it first started snowing.
Yeah, your video progressed.
But also, even if not, that was a lot of snow for our area. But we got close to 7 inches, so that's a lot of snow for anybody, I feel like.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna break the country up into 3 sections here. Okay, you have like the Kansas-Oklahoma line. There's that line. Go below that line to about the Red River. Okay, that Oklahoma, basically Oklahoma. Run that across the country, this direction, that direction. Go through Georgia. Go through Tennessee. Anyway, go through all those, and you have a line where you're used to getting snow every year. You're used to getting some snow, so you know how to deal with it.
1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, you get like 3 inches, 5 inches.
No, I mean like 1 snow or 2 snow, maybe 3 snows.
Oh yeah, not a lot, and that's our zone. We're in that middle of the road.
We're used to getting 1 or 2 or 3 snows a year. I mean, really, we're used to getting about 3 snows a year, but usually 1 is decent, and the other 2 are just or 1 is like ice.
Yeah, we'll get like three-fourths of an inch of ice, and then we'll get like a half an inch of snow on top of it.
So no one is super prepared. I don't mean like prepared like we didn't have a clue it was coming. I mean, we just have the bare necessities because it lasts a few days. There's no reason for us to spend a bunch of money like people do up north that has it for weeks, months, or whatever. So we're prepared for it's going to snow, but we're not prepared for it to last more than a few days or to have great resources for us to really just take this thing on. It snows 7 inches, we stay home until it melts, usually, because that's just, I mean, it snows 2 or 3 inches, it's a little different.
And now we have the luxury to do that too. Hey, even before I didn't work from home necessarily all the time, stay at home, I got to work remotely. So like if there was bad weather, they were like, no, don't drive in. You can do office work remotely, just get on your laptop and work. The kids now have a remote option. And so used to, people, and some people still have to, they work at a location of something that doesn't close. They have to get in and they have to do their job. But we don't necessarily have to, so we just stay home. But what I was saying with that, so we'll call them Zone 1, those people up north. They know how to deal with snow. They don't cancel school.
Yeah.
They don't rush out and buy all the bread and all the milk, and they kind of know what they're doing. We're Zone 2, and I say we, the people here, they go out, buy every loaf of bread, every gallon of milk within 100 miles. You're not going to find it. Like, it's just, if you wait until the day of, you're not going to find it. They do close school down, but people still kind of know how to drive, kind of know how to get around. We do have snow plows, and we have some equipment to handle it. Well, then you go down to Zone 3. These are like Bar 7, and those people down below Texas, they have no clue. They have no equipment. They don't have...
Well, Bar 7 has equipment and
no,
can probably drive on it.
I'm not talking about equipment. I'm saying public roads.
Yeah.
Like their Department of Transportation.
Their community.
They don't have snow plows and stuff because it doesn't justify buying snow plows often enough. Like, they don't get it often enough to justify it. So us, at least we do know how to deal with it a little bit, but they don't drive in it. Like, they still try to go 80 miles an hour like they drive all the time anyway. They all end up in the ditches. But what zone are you in? Where are you at? And are there loaves of bread and gallons of milk on the shelf the day before the storm hits? Up north, maybe they don't. Maybe they do that too. I don't know.
No idea.
But I will tell you this: there's plenty of flour, plenty of water, yeast, salt, like all the things to make bread. There's plenty of that.
Just no bread.
There's just no bread. So if you ever go to this grocery store and you're out of bread, just plan on making bread and go get all the ingredients because it's all there most of the time.
No comment.
You make bread, don't you?
I eat bread.
But with this last snow, I would say that we were very lucky as far as the amount we got, because normally you get 2 to 3 inches, maybe 4, and it's not really great for sledding. But who put about 200 miles and 20 hours on the side-by-side this week?
20 hours.
I don't know. Who did it?
I had a lot of fun pulling the kids and my niece and nephew around on the sled using the side-by-side. That was a lot of fun. I always loved sledding as a kid. I always loved when someone pulled us around or whatever. But I think I enjoyed pulling them even more than I enjoyed sledding as a kid. It was a lot of fun. Gary kept telling me, be careful. You don't have a good track record with wrecking.
I did say that when she started off because...
You said that several times.
We have a side-by-side. We've never owned a side-by-side before, ever. And whenever you go sharp around curves, they cut, and if they do cut into the ground, they're top heavy and they can tip over.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure you remembered.
As much as I really wanted to cut it sharp and then cut back the other way and really like sling the kids out, I didn't. When I would go to turn, I would make big circles because I knew that. I knew they're top heavy and you can flip them very easily. So I didn't do that.
But we do have a four-wheeler still that you could probably pretty much do anything you wanted to on as well. That would throw them crazy.
I'd rather drive the side-by-side.
But Cassie likes the side-by-side, and guess who sent me a invitation today to review the side-by-side on what's it called, survey.
Who?
Survey says Kawasaki.
You better tell them what you like and don't like.
So they sent me a survey. I am going to chime in. There is one thing I do not like about our Kawasaki Mule.
And subscribers comment about it all the time.
1000 cc. So apparently, whenever they came out with this model, I don't know if it was last year or what, they had an issue that it was catching on fire, which is pretty bad.
Kind of important not to happen.
I think it was catching on fire. Anyway, they fixed it, but the way they fixed it, the fix was when you turn the ignition over, it goes dun dun dun
Lugs.
dun. Then it starts. It has 3 long lugs, and people think, "Oh, your battery's going dead."
Yeah, people comment all the time. You need a new battery on that thing. That's just how it starts.
Yeah. So.
And they told us before we left the dealership. They told us that so that we would know that that's how it starts. It's supposed to do it, and I don't see it as a problem.
Well, that was their fix for it. What the fix for it not catching on fire was to make it turn over slower to get the gas cleared out of the ignition line or so. I don't know. All right, I don't know. But something with it's like fuel injection, but it's their
There's
proprietary
still gas in the line or something.
Yeah, it's the proprietary thing. It was blasting off too soon and it was catching on fire. So their fix is to slow it down. Well, why don't you actually fix it to where when you turn the key over, it will start up without having to lug 3 times. So I get it. It's a temporary fix, so you don't have to worry about it catching on fire. But why don't we actually fix it like every other car that starts, or every other ATV that starts, it just turns over and it starts. It's a little bit annoying. I'll just say that. It's a little bit annoying. But that's my only complaint about the Kawasaki Mule. I love the bed and the configuration, the 6 seats.
Aren't you glad you bought that instead of the Yamaha or the Honda?
Not really. I think I would have been just as happy with the Honda.
No, you wouldn't have.
I gotta give Cassie a hard time. I've always liked Honda, and she somehow got me to buy that.
Just the way it was made compared to this one. Not a steel bed, a plastic bed. Stuff getting in those seats that you're eventually going to sit on. Anyway, I like what we got.
You say that until that steel bed rusts. I'm just joking. It's probably not going to rust for like 30 years. But anyway, they sent out a survey for a reason, so
There you go.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I'm going to be a squeaky wheel. Let's get that on my plan to do tomorrow when the kids are at school. Cassie's going to get a nap. So we'll see if that email gets sent tomorrow, but also tomorrow on my list of things to do while the kids finally go back to school. They were out, just one day, Friday?
Yeah.
They were out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so they got a long weekend, which makes it a long weekend for me too. But they are going back to school tomorrow, and I need to finish planning the Washington, D.C. trip. So for those of you that are new here and don't know, our family is doing 50 states in 5 years. I think we've done 33 in 3 years. We're on year 4, I think is where we're at right now. And we are going to visit Washington, D.C., which means, yes, I know, Washington, D.C. is not a state. We're going to all the states around that general area. So we'll be going to Pennsylvania. We'll be going to Virginia, and the general states.
We'll be in Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. The general states in that area. If it's within a decent drive, we'll go to it.
How many days are we going to be there?
So we're leaving on Friday, I think, and we're leaving out of Arkansas. It's a direct flight, so we'll actually be in DC at 9:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have all day Friday, we'll have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, flying home Wednesday. So
then we got to get ready for the Okie Homesteading Expo.
Yeah, same. We're going the weekend before the Okie Homesteading Expo, so we'll be back on Wednesday, and the expo doesn't start till Friday morning. So we'll have a little time to recover, maybe help out a little bit if they need help with setup and stuff. But as we're planning our trip, we do like to meet up with other creators and other homesteaders. I like to go to other states and see, like when we were
How they do stuff.
Yeah, when we were in New England, we didn't get to meet with anybody there specifically, but we got to kind of see how they run their homestead, how they fence, how they do with their chickens.
Yeah, we went
all the
to a
things.
farm that was open to the public.
Yeah, it was they did maple syrup and lots of other fun stuff. Cheese.
So, I've been looking for 2 days for other YouTube channels, social media pages, influencers in the Maryland, Virginia, Southern Pennsylvania areas that maybe we could meet up with and see how they farm and things like that. But I haven't been super successful in finding ones that have the same values as us, that you guys would enjoy watching, that their people would enjoy watching us, whatever. Haven't really found any channels that are kind of like us, I guess you could say.
Yeah, somebody similar, common, people that you could let your family watch.
Yeah. I mean, we're not looking for like, I don't know, I saw like celebrity type influencers that like, I don't know, like cars or shoes or clothes. So we're looking for people that we could get to know, form a relationship with, like we have Eddie Family Farm and the Grounds family and Keeping It Dutch and Hidden Heights, all those people. Other people that we could form friendships with and go see how they do their farm and take you guys along with us.
Yeah. So if you guys know of anybody that you like that's similar in to what we do, then you guys let us know down in the comments and we will check them out, because geographically that's a pretty good ways out there, and we don't necessarily ever venture out that far.
The ones I found in Pennsylvania were like northern Pennsylvania, or ones in, maybe I found one in Virginia that was like too far. So
it's like a 2-hour radius in DC, or maybe 3. It could even be 4 hours.
I don't know that I found any in Maryland.
Yeah, that's a bunch of city slickers out there, probably. No, everywhere, and that's funny. Everywhere we travel, it's just like home. You have the big cities, then you have the rural. So you have the suburbs, then you have the rural area, then you have just the middle of nowhere, and that's kind of where I like it personally.
Yep.
So that's what we'll be doing though while we're in DC. Got a phone call coming in. So while we are in DC, we will be doing at least a couple things that we don't know the time yet. So we've reached out to our Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, and they're way back in November when I booked the trip, and they put us on a list for tickets to do a White House tour and to do a Capitol tour. So we'll for sure get to do a Capitol tour because our Senate, that's their jobs. That's our senator's job, is to show us around and tell us about, what they do there, or at least their interns. Might not be Mark Wayne himself, but somebody will. So we are kind of waiting on our dates for that, which should be soon, to know when we'll be in DC. But then the other days we'll be in that area that we talked about, within a couple 100 miles or 300 miles of the DC area. So if you know of any awesome stops, like this is the once in a lifetime stop, you cannot miss it. Also, let us know about those, because we've had some great subscribers give us tips and tricks and restaurants to eat at. There's like a giant smorgasbord Amish place in Pennsylvania, like the biggest buffet in the Northern Hemisphere or something. I don't know. It's supposed to be awesome. And then we looked at Hershey, Pennsylvania. There's a theme park there. Unfortunately, they don't open till the end of March.
Yeah, the kids would have loved that.
And we're going to be going mid-March. And so we always like to do history. I like to do history, and I like to walk a lot. So I like to wear my family out early on, try to get them good and tired so they sleep good at night. But we're going to be walking a lot in DC, and we're going to be doing plenty of history there. So when we get out of DC, probably want to look at having some fun.
Yeah. And we love to meet up with you guys as well, but it becomes really hard when we're have more of like a schedule and things to do and places to be. Like we were just going somewhere and staying there for several days or whatever, it becomes easier. But I know a lot of you guys reach out and say, can we meet up or whatever? And that's really hard. When we went to Massachusetts, we were able to say, hey, we'll be at Plymouth Rock at this time. And we were able to pull that off.
Which we might be able to do something like that whenever I get my dates and I know, say, for instance, the Lincoln Memorial. Something really common where a lot of people could get to. We might be able to say, hey, we're going to be Lincoln Memorial Monday morning at 8 a.m. to start off our National Mall tour, or something. But until that day comes, we won't know for sure.
Yeah, so if there's a day that we could be like, hey, we're going to be here at this time, we'll do it. But meeting up individually just becomes really hard when we're on a set, this is what we got to do or whatever.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to it though. We'll knock out at least 3 states. And so we'll be getting up closer to 40. And then this summer, we have that big trip planned to the Northwest. So we'll be over 40 states at that point. And I think we'll be like getting really close.
Mm-hmm.
Fall
Almost
break.
Time for Hawaii.
I'd like to go to Michigan on fall break. So
fall break's hard because that's youth deer season.
I know that's the thing. We run out of time eventually. So we'll see what life gives us as it comes to us. But we already have the DC trip planned. Already have summer travel planned. We could also do Michigan in that area right before school starts, like that last like week before school starts. We could probably do some late summer travel because it'll be hot then.
Yeah.
And that's when we like to go north, is when it gets hot. We're going to Washington, D.C. in March because of cherry blossoms. Did you know that?
Not a clue.
That's why we went to New England in the fall because of the fall foliage, and I'm planning the trip. So we're going to Washington, D.C. in March to see the beautiful cherry blossoms. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. That's why Gary plans.
Just part of it.
I just attend.
So we'll see. But as far as prayer requests go, Cassie, do you have anything new, different? My grandpa is back at home, so there's a praise for that. And they've got his medicines adjusted, and hopefully he can keep fluid off of his lungs. But thank you guys so much for praying for him. It's just been a roller coaster of back and forth, but we have a lot of family that's helping take care of him and doing a lot. So we appreciate the prayers.
Yeah, a lot of you have emailed or messaged different prayer requests. We're praying for those. And if you guys will go down in the comment, encourage somebody, pray for somebody. Maybe there's someone down there dealing with something that you have in the past that you could be an encouragement to. That'd be great. So we love to see you guys go down in the comments and just encourage and lift each other up.
So we thank you guys for taking time out of your day for catching up with the Walkers. We hope you have a great day, and God bless.
We love you guys.